I am wearing a very sparkly shirt today to mark a very sparkly occasion because, as you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm sharing my 2021 bullet journal setup, and I am starting a new bullet journal for the new year. If you've been around on my channel, then you know a tradition I have is to name my bullet journals, and I always give them an H name. I don't know why I give them H names. I just started the pattern and now it feels wrong to diverge away from that. So we're sticking with the H's, and this is my new bullet journal. His name is Harland. He is navy blue. He's this beautiful Archer and Olive notebook. I just love this color so much. I don't think I've had a dark navy blue bullet journal before, so I like the little added spice of variety to my collection, my planner collection. Whenever I start a new journal, I really just like to have fun, be creative, and set the tone for what I want this journal to really be. And I love these spreads. So I really hope you enjoy this one. I'm gonna stop talking, but I do wanna remind you that you should definitely hit the subscribe and notification bell if you haven't already, because a new Plan With Me video is coming out in a week. So if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know right when it comes up, so you're getting all the planning goodness as soon as possible. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy getting to know Harland. When I started my last bullet journal, I dedicated the first page to displaying the name of my new journal, and I loved it so much that I decided to do it again for Harland. My inspiration for this quote-unquote name display was a piece of ID. So I snapped a Polaroid of Harland and pasted it on top of a craft paper rectangle, and then wrote out his name with my white Jelly Roll pen, which is linked in the description box, along with links to everything I use in today's video. I might be the only one that thinks this, but whenever I have to draw a speech bubble, I get a little nervous because I swear sometimes my speech bubbles don't look very speech bubbly, but I think I did an okay job with this speech bubble. I added some text in it that said, "Hi, my name is Harland," and some white accent doodles around it just to spice it up. And then below that, I listed out some attributes of Harland like you would find on a normal ID, but I had a little fun with it. I wrote down the color, the brand, the page type, and the favorite quote. So he's a navy journal from Archer and Olive, and he has dotted pages, and his favorite quote, fun fact, is "I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious," by the one and only Michael Scott. It is a classic quote, so I respect that quote choice on Harland's part. Finally, to give the spread a little pop, I just drew out a basic drop shadow and filled it in with some lines, and I think it really pulled everything together. I think goal setting is always of great interest when the beginning of a new year comes around for so many people, which, as a side note, I will be posting a dedicated goal setting video in between Christmas and New Year's. I'll go over things like vision boards and motivation boosts, tons of fun stuff. The left page is my dedicated self-reflection section. So I started by pasting in a Polaroid with a picture I found off of Pinterest. I saved it to my phone and used my Instax mini link to print it out. I'll have this device linked in the description box below. It's super handy and great for being able to add, pictures to your spreads, or just having pictures in general for memory keeping. But I love using photos in my spreads whenever I can. I think it adds a nice personal touch. On the left page, I also wrote out some self-reflection questions because this is a self-reflection area. And these are questions to give me journaling inspiration for really thinking back on 2020, both the highs and the lows of the year. There's questions like, how can I ensure I have more of a divide between life and work? And also, what was the hardest part about lockdown? I think journaling can be just such a beautiful way to get out thoughts and to process emotions. So definitely something I want to be doing more of in 2021. And as you're seeing, I'm writing out tons of questions right now. So if you ever want to revisit these questions or revisit any of these spreads that you're seeing me create in these videos, I always have photos posted on my website, caitlindesilva.com, because I know some people just want to go back to a particular spread or just investigate a spread in more detail, and having photos can sometimes be really helpful for that. I also sometimes share photos on Instagram as well. So lots of different areas to get more or added bullet journal resources. On the right page, I am drawing out 3 rectangles to be the home to my actual goal setting. You are seeing me draw these out with a Micron in size 08, which is definitely one of my favorite pens for outlining, for drawing boxes, for filling in things, for whatever. It's just a really nice bold black pen and really makes things pop out, so it's always been a go-to for mine. But on the top left of the right page, I created a goal check-in section, which is a spot for me to write down pre-booked dates in my calendar for reassessing where I'm at with my goals, so I can refocus myself and make any changes that I need to make to keep myself on track with my goal setting from the beginning of the year. And then, of course, there's also a spot to write down some work goals and some life goals. They're not huge spots because I think something that I personally want to be mindful of this year is being more selective with my goals. It's really tempting to list out a ton of new things that we want to do, but that can be really unrealistic to expect so many different areas of our lives to go through big change at once. So I'm going to keep myself a little bit more focused in 2021, and I think this is going to be a nice spread to display that. On the next page, I'm using this beautiful linen style paper that I picked up at a local craft store. If you look closely, it even has some flower petals embedded into it. It's just stunning. This paper was sold individually, so I only bought 3 pieces, and each one of them looks so unique. So I love that extra quality to it as well. This spread just came to be. It has textures, it has flower petal, embedded paper, green plant doodles, craft paper that's ripped. Like everything about it just seems like it almost like fell into place there. And it's probably one of my favorite looks I've ever put together for a spread. I just think there's something so right about it. On the left page, I'm writing out some simple, easy to do daily acts of self-care because the end of 2020 has been a super crazy one for me, and I know it has been for so many people. So I really want to prioritize myself more at the start of the year because there's just been so many distractions lately. One of my favorite acts of self-care is actually playing music. I am proud to say that I have been aggressively replaying Taylor Swift's new Evermore album since its release, and it's honestly just such a therapeutic album to listen to. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Willow, Gold Rush, Tolerate It, 'Tis the Damn Season, all songs that I've just been in love with. So I'd love to hear your favorite down in the comment section below. On the right page, I created a dedicated space to keep track of my reading progress throughout 2021. I have a Goodreads account where I do track which specific books I read, which, again, side note, you should follow me on Goodreads if you're curious about what books I'm reading because I'm always keeping that updated. But since all that information is over there, I just made a basic tracker for making note of the quantity of books I'm reading. I also created a legend to distinguish between fiction and nonfiction books because I'm always trying to push myself to read more nonfiction. So tracking that kind of thing is a good motivator. And at the bottom, I added a gorgeous quote that says, "As you read a book word by word and page by page, you participate in its creation. And as you read and reread, the book, of course, participates in the creation of you, your thoughts and feelings, the size and temper of your soul." It's a quote from Ursula K. Le Guin, and I just think it beautifully summarizes my thoughts on reading and how meaningful books have been in my life. Many of you who follow me on Instagram will be aware of that. Something that I've been chit-chatting about is my fascination with vocabulary. I'm a reader, so language has always been interesting to me, but I often come across words online and in books that evoke curiosity in me. It's just so fun to look up definitions to interesting sounding words and also start using unique words in my own vocabulary. So this page on the left is a spot for me to keep track of some of my favorites. On the left column, I have a space to write down the word, and right next to it I can add the definition. Fun fact, the titles of both these lists are written on masking tape. I actually came across some masking tape at the same craft store that I bought the flower paper at, and when I opened up the roll and started using it, the smell of the glue on the tape just instantly took me back to elementary school. So I love the nostalgic touch it adds, and I think it visually pairs in nicely with so many papers. So I'm excited to add it to more of my journaling spreads going forward. On the right page, I created some basic lists for writing down TV shows and movies that I end up watching in 2021. This is definitely a spread that has not a lot of real use in the present, but it's neat to look back on. So I really want to make a point of keeping this updated. As you can see, my 2021 bullet journal is definitely starting with that scrapbooking direction that I started in 2020, and I love this style that I've been doing more in my journal. I think it's great because you can be more minimalist with it when you want to be. You can go crazy when you just want to throw all the textures at it. And then it's also very forgiving to mistakes. I actually think the mistakes, the imperfections make these spreads more interesting to look at. One of the reasons I love bullet journals is the fact that they do look so handmade, and they are a handmade creation. So yeah, I've really gravitated toward this look, and I'm sure it's something I'll experiment more with in the coming year. If you ever find yourself needing some bullet journal spread ideas, I do have a free PDF with 50 bullet journal ideas that you can access by entering in your email in the link that I have in the description box below. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already, and I will see you very, very soon with a new bullet journal video. Harland is not done for the new year. He has more to show you, so stay tuned for that. Until then, bye everyone.